behalf of the government and people of Lagos State, I welcome you all to this historic occasion of the launching of the state chapter of the Namibia Solidarity Fund. I express my appreciation to the chairman and members of the State Namibia Solidarity Fund for the prompt response to the call to serve the state, which has made today's gathering a reality. The turnout, the caliber of the people, and the representative nature of this gathering is indicative of the diligence nature of this gathering. All of the committee has approached the assignment in spite of the limited time at its disposal. I also thank most sincerely those who are present here today. Their presence is an indication of the preparedness of the citizens of Lagos State to assist in a worthy cause, and on this occasion, it is the laying of a solid foundation for the independence of Namibia. When the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, launched the Namibia Solidarity Fund on Friday, 16th June 1989, he emphasized Nigeria's commitment to a program of rapid and expeditious demise of the inhuman and oppressive racist regime in South Africa. It is on record that the South-West African People's Organization, SWAPO, the authentic representative of the peoples of Namibia, has engaged the South African occupation forces in military combat for the freedom of Namibia for over 20 years. In spite of all efforts made by SWAPO, the spate of inhuman treatment, wanton destruction of lives and properties, hardcore deprivation, and aggression against Namibians on their soil continue unabated. With the activation of the 1978 Independence Plan, which provides, among other things, for the conduct of elections in the Constituent Assembly under the supervision of the United Nations, it has become absolutely imperative for all hands to be on deck to ensure a hitch-free handover of power to the Namibian people. We in Nigeria, like our brothers and sisters in other African nations, are convinced that the humanizing situation in Namibia can and must be brought to an end in November, when the Namibians go to the polls. No condition, after all, is said to be permanent. At this point in time, therefore, when victory seems imminent for Namibians, when the end to apartheid is clearly in view, it is absolutely necessary for all Africans to be externally vigilant and step up support for and solidarity with the Namibians. It is particularly necessary to do this now that Western media reports tend to be biased in favor of South Africa, and what obviously is a desperate attempt to influence the outcome of the forthcoming November elections against SWAPO. This massive propaganda against the SWAPO, coupled with the unexpected renewal of hostilities on the part of the apartheid regime, are clear indications to discerning minds that the aggressors will make desperate attempts to rig the elections in order to install a puppet government in Namibia. Africa cannot afford to take chances. Even though the election is to be conducted under the aegis of the United Nations, we should anticipate that the Western powers could do everything possible to protect their multi-billion-dollar investment in South Africa. They have done it in several countries of Africa. The May 1960 election in the Congo and the events that surrounded it are still fresh in our memories. This is why all Africans, whatever breed or creed, should support in all ways possible the authentic representative of the people of Namibia, and that is SWAPO, to win the November election. No nation founded upon injustice will permanently stand. Apartheid South Africa will, therefore, fail in its bid to lead the forthcoming election. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to invite you all to consider your present freedom as a blessing from the Almighty, and that this blessing is not complete if it does not flow in equal measure to other Africans still in bondage. In the circumstance, please extend this freedom to the people of Namibia by donating generously to the fund. Once again, on behalf of the Lagos State Government, I thank you all for your kind response to our invitation and for the general donations which will be forthcoming. Once again, thank you all and God bless.
It is to me a great honor and privilege to have been invited by the Committee on Namibia Solidarity Fund, Lagos chapter, to be the chief launcher of the fund today. I am a businessman and not a politician. Despite this, no Nigerian, businessman or not, can have failed to follow the traumatic events in Southern Africa during the last 40 years. Since then, we have lived with, with the knowledge and experience of black people in that region being denied the rights of a common humanity. The irony is that the policy of apartheid, otherwise described as legalized racial discrimination, was introduced in South Africa, including Namibia, in 1948. This was immediately after Africans, fighting side by side with their colonial masters, had just ended the World War II. This war was fought in the name of freedom, human dignity, and against fascism. As we have observed in all these situations in Southern Africa, there was, and still is, in some of these states, a continual attempt to impose puppet regimes through the machinations of the ignoble South African apartheid government. These attempts are being made today in Namibia. The pain of reading and seeing on our television screens the brutalization of black people in Southern Africa cannot be felt by every black man all over the world who believes in his own color, dignity, and freedom. Pain and suffering create a challenge to the oppressed. The people of Namibia cannot stand alone in shouldering this challenge. It is a challenge to every one of us. I am glad that Nigeria appreciates its place in our continent, where we are under obligation to assume leadership. This is not only because we represent 1 in every 6 black persons in the world. It is also because of the cultural impact through fraternity, which I personally have observed during my business travels throughout the United States, Latin America, and the Caribbean. Hence, we are gathered here today to give this leadership and meet this challenge. With most of my business interests being joint ventures with French companies, I have seen the vibrance of the French this year in their celebration of the bicentenarian of the French Revolution, which was targeted at rights of man and citizen. It is these rights of man, every citizen, white or black, that we also have been asking for Namibia. As is commonly said, what is good for the goose is good for the gander. I am happy that I have been invited today and given the opportunity to make my humble contribution to assist the people of Namibia in their strive forward to genuine independence. I hope and pray that Allah will see the people of Namibia through to statehood by the end of next year. Finally, I wish to appeal to all those present here and all those people of Lagos State to respond generously to this appeal in the cause of entrenching human dignity. This I humbly lead with a contribution ₦100,000. Thank you all for your presence.
Meanwhile, I will deal with the item because I know if you don't have one, it's not meant to be a way out. Let me put it that way. We want the president to serve as a public contribution. In other words, if you are holding like 2,000 and you want to be 5. Like that. May I announce, he has given us 5,000 naira. I know that is very. I don't délẹ̀. Làtà ti gbogbo èkó, á ti gbogbo ọjọ́ tí ọkọ̀ lọ́dọ̀ òkú, olùdé ní ọkọ̀ ní ìṣe tó ìbò òrèlè, ọmọ ìjọ tó ní ìjọ ọmọ ìjọba ní ìjọ tí ìṣe tọ́pọ̀ sí àtọ̀jà àtọ̀. Àti ẹ̀yẹ nígbà ìrọ̀bá, ìjọ ọ̀dà ń dá àtọ́jú gbogbo bí ẹni tí ọ̀dà ló kọjá lórí tọ́pẹ́ ṣe ní ṣe ìwọ́dọ̀ àrà àtàrà àmì láti nílá ọkùnrin lórí gbìgbì. Owó ẹ̀ ti tó ní. Ṣé nígbà táwọn bàbá wa ní ọkọ̀ wá sáàtì òmìnira Nàìjíríà rẹ̀? Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ tó tẹ̀lé. Àbí pé Yorùbá kọ̀ wọ́n dé àbí kí ní jọ́ mú lókè èmi náà kàwé o. Yorùbá ti dá àbí lókè. Lókè. Ìgbà gbogbo ọmọ tó ti sẹ́lẹ̀ ní ìgbà tó lé sí Yorùbá pé ìlú ni Yorùbá lè gé èkó. Ìjọba ní kọ̀fẹ́tà kọ̀fẹ́tà láì ìyọ àwòrán. Nígbà tí Nàìjíríà ti tẹ̀sí òmìnira, ní ìtẹ̀sí ọ̀dùnmọ́ lọ́dún sábà. Ṣé ìjẹ́ ìjẹ́? Nígbà tá a tẹ̀sí òmìnira, àwọn bàbá wa nílẹ̀ Yorùbá wọ́n kára àmàtí tí wọ́n lé ìtànà tàbílẹ̀ òyìnbó láti máa pawó wá sí western state ní ara wọn làwọn bàbá wa ló lọ́wọ́. Wọ́n lè fi gbogbo ẹ̀ wọ́n wáyé ìtànà kó látọ̀ bíbí àti tí wọ́n lè kó láti bí ìjọ́rùn wọ́n ní tírèdì ní rédíwé ọkọ̀ ojú rẹ̀. Wọ́n lè fi gbogbo ẹ̀. Ṣé wá máa ń sọ wà ọmọ Ìgbò mi? Òun náà lọ́wọ́ dájú ọwọ́ sílẹ̀ Yorùbá mi ọ̀tá àbẹ̀dà ọ̀dọ̀ ìdí àwùjá obìnrin gbogbo bá náà lé ṣe òun náà wà lọ́sọ̀ fún ọdún ilẹ̀ Ìgbò náà. Màdìbò three ìdí ìwé ìgbòdú náà wù dé this Yorùbá people and the other people they don't know and they don't see wetin dem go dey use to carry our country Nigeria and from there go here. That one náà sọ́kò òkè ìbò sọ̀rọ̀ gbogbo mi tí òye rẹ̀ òkè ìbò sọ àti àyàlẹ́ ìdókì ní gbogbo wọn. Nígbà wá já wọn bá tó dé ìdè bàbá bá yarí. Gbogbo àwọn nígbò wọ́n ti kó ní ibùdókọ̀ ṣé ìrìnàjò ìwé ìyàwó ọjọ́ náà tó ní wọn tàbí ẹnu bá wọn tó ní wọn tàbí bàbá mi. Nígbà yá bàbá wọn ní oṣù ọkọ̀ tó yẹ kí ní ó ní ìgbò ó ní dé ìwé wọn ní pé gbogbo ti wọ́n pa láti dárí pọ́n tó lè lọ́wọ́.
adúpẹ́ fún ìjọba Babangida àti ìjọba Razaki ọmọ dáadáa àgbẹ̀ àpò mẹ́fà lè ní mọ̀mí mọ́ náírà together o àpò mẹ́fà pọ́ùn làgbé wa market men and women Lagos State Nigeria. mo fẹ́ kọrin kan fún Razaki iṣẹ́ ẹgbẹ́ mi ò lè fọmọ Ìbàdàn ṣeré o mi ò fọmọ Ìbàdàn ṣeré o àfẹni torí ẹ bá ti bàjẹ́ o ló lè fọmọ Ìbàdàn ṣeré o ló lè fọmọ Ìbàdàn ṣeré o àfẹni torí ẹ bá ti bàjẹ́ o ó ní ṣìṣe o lórí ọgbà ní ayé níbi tó wà yìí nígbà má ṣe sí yìí nation mall ẹnìkan ló ti di action mall wọ́n wá tó wá di action mall together.
Ilé
total sum pledged by you.
Ní àkọ́kọ́, nígbà tí mo wá sọ ọ̀rọ̀ níbí láàárọ̀ ẹ rí pé mi ò sọ iye tí àwọn ènìyàn Èkó àti ìjọba Èkó iye tí wọ́n máa fún Namibia. Ó ní ìdí. Ìkíní tá bá wò ní gbogbo àwọn ìpínlẹ̀ tó wà ní Nàìjíríà, Ọlọ́run ti fi Èkó ó ti fún wọn ti olórí láti gbà tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ ni. Tá bá sì wo ìtàn ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó yìí, tá sì wo ìtàn ti Nàìjíríà wa, ẹ rí pé ìgbà tí mo sọ yẹn òótọ́ ni. Tá bá sọ̀rọ̀ nípa pé àkọ́kọ́ ń dá ìjọba ní ibi tá a jókòó sí lónìí, lẹ́yìn tí ìjọba àpapọ̀ ibi la kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìjọba ní Nàìjíríà yìí. Torí àkọ́kọ́ ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ ní o Èkó lọ́kọ́kọ́ jẹ́ ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ kìíní ta kọ́kọ́ ní tó dá dúró ní gbà tí ẹ̀sẹ̀ pé ó rọ̀ mọ́ ẹnìkankan lọ́rùn. Tá bá tún wò ó ńgbà tí ó tó di nǹkan bíi 20 ọdún àti kankan sẹ́yìn, Èkó yìí náà ní àkọ́kọ́ fi ibi tó ń ṣe ìjọba tiẹ̀ lọ́tọ̀. Tá bá sì ń wò gbogbo nǹkan tá a ti ṣe, ẹ rí i pé Èkó ó ti jẹ́ àkọ́kọ́. Ọlọ́ọ̀bá tó fi wá ṣe aṣíwájú kò ní sọ wá di èrò ẹ̀yìn. Torí ìdí eléyìí, ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ yìí àti àwọn èèyàn ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó, iyekíye tí ó bá kù ní iye tá a dá lónìí tó fi máa tó mílíọ̀nù kan àti àbọ̀, yòókù tó bá kù ìjọba Èkó máa fi sílẹ̀. Ẹ ṣé púpọ̀.
The acting Chief Judge, members of the State Executive Council, the Secretary to the Military Government, Lagos State, the representative of the Chief of SWAPO, the Chief Launcher, Alhaji Chief Ayola Shasan, the representative of the Chairman of the National Committee of NSF, the Chairman and members of the Organizing Committee of the Lagos State Chapter of the NSF, sole administrators, Obas and Chiefs, my Lord Spiritual and Temporal, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, by contributing to the Namibia Solidarity Fund Today, the people of Lagos State are joining millions of Nigerians in demonstrating their support for and solidarity with the Southwest African People Organization, SWAPO, who are the accredited and authentic representatives of the people of Namibia. In our own little way, we are thus contributing to the establishment of a vital administrative infrastructure for SWAPO in its bid to win independence for Namibia through the polls in November this year. I have the pleasure, therefore, to rise to thank first the military governor of Lagos State, Col Raji Razak, who in his characteristic manner has set the ball rolling promptly by appointing the committee to organize and mobilize the people of the state in support of the fund. We thank him for his prompt action and for sparing time to attend this ceremony. The military governor has also organized a handsome donation to the fund from the state government. We are grateful to you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the objective of the Namibia Solidarity Fund is to raise money to assist in liberating Namibia from bondage. The liberation of Namibia is an absolutely important step, and indeed of all other African territories still under bondage. This will ensure the complete independence and freedom of the African continent. The rise to the call for support of this cause by Nigerians has been quite encouraging. The trend among Nigerians today is not only to rise to such important occasions, but they also give solid moral and financial support to a worthy cause. It is in this context that I see the role that has just been played by the chief launcher, Alhaji Chief Shasna. I thank you, sir, on behalf of the government and people of Lagos State for your spontaneous response and very generous donation. May the good Lord continue to shower his blessings on you. I can see the cream of society present here. They are the top government functionaries, judges, obas and chiefs, religious groups, voluntary organizations,